Today is going to be going on, Florian.
Hey, what's up, my friend?
We're going to join. We're going to have a fun conversation today. We're going to talk about how busy you are and how you have no time to do anything, and we're going to have a full recap on what Florian's life has become and what went wrong.
It is a mess. Thanks for having me, my friend. I see the podcast is doing great. So, well, it's not even a podcast, is it? What is it called now? It's like a show almost, right?
Well, when people ask me what I do for a living, I like to tell them that I run a clown show.
It sounds about
Uh,
right.
I feel like that's probably the closest thing I have to something that's real. A clown show. Does that?
I
I
mean,
mean, I
yeah,
got you.
as pool player, I can't really argue that. So we're a different
Okay.
kind of animal. So
We certainly are something, aren't we? Uh,
yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the life we choose, though. We were talking a little bit before the show started, and yeah, you're just crushing it right now. Take us through a day in the life of Florian right
Phew.
around now.
That's exhausting, man. So, what day is today? Today is Tuesday. So Tuesday wasn't too bad, but I'll go from yesterday, right? So, yesterday was Monday. So wake up, whatever, like 9-ish. I got a friend that's a magician that comes to town, wants to come see me, and it's like cool, let's meet up, whatever, do a few shots, then gotta leave. Then I gotta go and try to do whatever, put the files together, footage and stuff. Then I had to do some paperwork for the league, and then had to go drive to Kingman, Arizona, a couple hours away, meet up for some players out there for my league because I have a branch that goes up to because I have APA Las Vegas, but also a piece of Kingman, and so I did had to meet up with those guys, then try to recruit out there, get a couple new people, drive back, and then what do I drive back? I see Carl Boyes and Jason Shows now starting challenging me on social media. I'm like, damn, so I got to play more pool. The next thing I know, it's like 3 in the morning, and here we go again. So what I mean, it's just nonstop. And the day before was tournament day, 64 player on Sunday for one of my tournaments, another 64 on Saturday. It just and this weekend, same thing. I think I have another almost 200 people on Saturday. So
Wow.
yeah.
So the last time we brought you on, I believe it was very shortly after you had just gotten done with your promotional video. I don't know exactly what you want to call it. I would say promotional video that you did with Dude Perfect, that group, and they have. I mean that group has turned out to be absolutely massive. They have
It's
such
been
a
that
following
long?
with. I think it's been about that long. It's been about
Because I think the last video
two
we did
years.
together is like, no, it's like 4 years, 5 years, something like that almost already.
It's been a
Yeah,
while. I know that.
it's been a while. Yeah.
Have I been doing this show for three and a half
Yes,
years? I think I've been doing the
probably.
show for
Yeah.
3.5 years. I think maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, too long. So I guess that was. You've had a ton of videos that you've done across the years that have, I mean, basically built you up into this. Do you think that
Yeah.
looking back on that, do you think that that was one of the big things that you did to kind of launch your social media career?
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, I think the biggest thing for me was when our second DVD was basically hacked and put online, and then like 100 million people saw it for free. That was actually the best thing that ever happened to me. Kind of sucked on the moment because like, man, we lost so many sales, but let's face it, we'd have never sold that many, so it was fantastic. So many views, and the social media landscape was a little different. It was easier to make money on social media and stuff. So I did quite well for a few years, right? Just kept the momentum going. But I think the biggest, the biggest thing that really happened to me is I was able to actually make a live show out of it and actually do that live. Which nowadays you see a lot of kids online that they'll do a few shots here and there, but it's a whole different ball game to actually make a trick show and make it interesting and be able to sell it, right? So, in retrospective, I think it's just a combination of those two that just really made it where I'm at. So.
Yeah, and I know that I'm a big podcast listener outside of this, and one of the what is it? One of the struggles with content creators
Sorry, I
is
just saw the
they.
joke. It was pretty funny, actually, Brett.
Oh, yeah, got it.
It's
That's
okay. You
terrible. That's a terrible
forgiven.
joke.
Nah, he's forgiven.
Terrible joke. Yeah, he gave me a ride home. I needed one on Saturday, so good for you. Thanks, Brett. But one of the big things that, according to a podcast I listened to, one of the big struggles with content creators, which I would consider you a content creator. Would you consider yourself a content creator?
not bragging, whatever, but I'll say I'm probably the very first influencer for pool, actually.
Yeah,
The
I would
first
agree
one
with
that
that.
actually kind of created the whole landscape out of it. Now nowadays it's a little different, but I think I was kind of the first one to make the whole there. Uh, but yeah, I think the biggest problem is the change, right? The algorithm changed, the landscape changed, the format changed. Just very difficult to keep it running for so long. And if you think back, for me, it's been almost 15 years now, so that's a dinosaur lifetime already for social media.
Yeah. And I think another one of the struggles is not only coming up with content that is engaging, but it's also, content that is needs to be watched and shared and, how did you do this and blah blah blah. And I think this is one of the creative things about you, and another person that does this really well for my money is uh the inventor Charles Lakey. You guys just seemed, whatever video you guys create, whatever video you guys come up with, it's always like, how do you think of these things? And the really interesting one that I found that I really like was yours recently was the no rails trick shots. Like,
Yeah.
how did you come up with that idea? How do you come up with the
I,
ideas like that?
I think I was gonna say my main thing is, I wouldn't say I've got better skills than anybody or whatever. I am stubborn. I'll tell you that. I'm probably one of the most stubborn guy I ever know. So if I see something that's doable, I'll try it, no matter how long it takes. I'm pretty stupid like that. But I don't have like extraordinary skills or whatever. The only thing that made me where I'm at is the creativity, and I can't really explain that. It's just kind of natural, right? Some days, you'll go to the pool table and some stuff flows and some stuff doesn't flow, and sometimes you just come up with like 20 brand new shots or whatever, and it's just the way it works, right? And I can't really explain it. It's just the way it works. Now, that I sharpen my skills over time, yeah, that my mastery is pretty strong, sure, but I think anybody that practices as much as I do could do it. So the rest, like for example, the no rail tables, that was easy. My table was destroyed, so I knew the pool table. My friend, Mark here in town was gonna come, but he, was delayed or whatever. So I was trying to help him. I undo the rail, move the rails, and I'm sitting at this table. I'm like, man, there's got to be something funny to do. Is that right? And next thing I know, I'm spending 4 hours on it, and I got a full video, and kind of blows out a few million views here and there. I'm like, shit, that was a great idea. So this, how to explain it? Not really, right? Then the next thing happened. It was kind of natural too. So after that, then I think Mark was again too busy. So I was like, fuck it, I need my table back. But I started undoing the rail, the rail on the cloth on the rails. So next thing I know, I have a table that's got no cloth on the rail. So here we go. I start a few shots, and ends up being absolutely stupid, ridiculous. I mean, that was just dumb. So, but worked great too.
I still have no idea. I still have no idea how those shots even work out. I don't like, especially the no cloth rail ones. It's like the cue ball's just doing things. It's like it literally looks like you're like almost piecing together videos. Like
So
it's not one
one
consecutive video.
thing that I was always pride myself in is that nothing has ever been fake. Now, some shot may have taken 4 hours, I'll be honest with you, but nothing has ever been faked once, right? And it's what I hate on social media. And I see those fake video when you have the break, they make all the balls, or that, you've seen that ball that accelerates when you touch the rail straight up vertical. Like, come on, that doesn't help us. So all my stuff's always been 100% real. And this is the first time that if I was looking at the video myself, the no rail clause on it, I'm thinking this gotta be fake, but it really isn't. It's just nuts.
I think my favorite fake video is the Mosconi Cup, where with the greatest pool player of all time, the bank shot with oh, and why am I blanking on his name right now? Guy from Florida, but he
Yes, I
does like
know. Yeah, I know who you're
I,
talking about.
I love his videos and I can't think of it. But he does like that bank shot where it just like goes into the rail and comes straight back into the side
Yeah,
pocket like that. That's he's actually a master at he's insanely good at
the quality of the
creating
edits
videos.
is really good, though. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really good.
really good.
Yeah,
And
Andrew
I like,
Cleary, correct.
yeah, Andrew Clear, yeah. And the Oreo and the PBR on his chest, like they just
I mean, who doesn't like a good spoof? It's great.
yeah, yeah. It's
But
good stuff.
that was one thing I pride myself in, was to never fake anything. And it was that point when you're like, man, this actually looks fake, but it really isn't. Trust me, I wouldn't do that. So
Yeah. So, well, you said the one shot has taken you 4 hours, and you're just throwing out numbers at that point. But what do you think is the longest shot that you've ever had to shoot,
it's probably
or
something
it
like
took you to make?
that. It's probably something like that. Either one of those that took like 4 hours to just keep it going, keep it going. One of the Dude Perfect one actually. I don't know if you're familiar with the video number 2. So it shoots off the rail in the air, uh, what I call a sting shot when I hit it in the air. Then it goes down like a second story to first story to like
Yep.
level 1, goes and probably travels like I don't know like 300 meters or whatever, like into a golf hole. And I mean, that just was just brutal. And I actually had my ferrule expand and just break like this. It was just so much pressure and so many tries, right? But that's, you got the constraint of you have to make the shot. And when you commit to it, spend an hour, you got to make it, right? It's close and it's close, but you got to get lucky. So you got to be good and lucky. Sometimes you just, spend it. So that's one kind, right? And then you have the other kind that you have in the book. It's a diagram you're in, and sometimes it may take you years to find a way to make it. So, but hard to say how long it would take, right?
Do you have a category of trick shots that are your favorite to do? So I guess
Yeah,
when I'm
massive. I
looking at
mean, yeah,
masse shots, okay,
yeah.
yeah, I mean
There's not much better than that.
they're so visually appealing.
It's fascinating, right? I mean, that's the way I started. I started with watching the Semi Sagener videos online when on the carom table, and it's just fascinating. It's just something that click in your brain, right? Just there's beauty to it, and I kind of figured I had to do the same thing on pool, and it's still to this day, it's just the same thing. So if anything, it's the material that's limiting me to go to the next level. Meaning you would need like maybe thinner felt, maybe a thicker slate or stuff like that. So, but that becomes kind of redundant and crazy. So.
Yep. Yeah, I think to be honest with you, sometime when I'm out in Vegas, I would love to do some sort of collab thing with you because I think that I love massing the balls. And
Let
to
me
be honest,
know.
when you did the video with Raleigh and you were kind of like teaching him to masse,
Hmm.
I spent a little time with him at the Moscone Cup that year, and he was kind of explaining to me how he explained to you how to hit a proper masse shot. And ever since then, like I love hitting masse shots. Like I just love them. They're so much fun. It would be so much fun to do some sort of collab video where you kind of did
Yeah,
with
I
Raleigh.
mean, if you're there, the Moscone Cup, it's in my hometown basically, right? So
Yeah,
I'm here in Vegas. So if you ever show up, we've been doing a lot of collabs like that lately. I've had I had Fedor, I had Jeremy, I had Mike Massey, I had a bunch of guys just coming in. I mean, the house is it's like a mini pool hall basically the way it's set up. So we're good. We got a nice diamond table that's clean downstairs, then the trick shot table that we can abuse, and then three cushion table that we can have fun too. So it's pretty damn cool.
I've been playing a little bit of three cushion lately. Speaking of, like you said, your ferrule kind of exploded. I actually was watching somebody play with a carbon fiber shaft. I won't say the carbon fiber shaft, but they're playing three cushion with it. They said they were playing with it for like 3 weeks, playing three cushion, and their ferrule exploded like a grenade. It was
Well,
for the heavier balls.
I'm testing some stuff too for QTech actually right now. I can't go into too much details, but I think the biggest problem we all have from pool to carom is the size of the ball, right, and the pressure you got to put. So far I've had really good results, but I mean I think there's a way to like make it. You just got to find the little tweaks here and there. But it's an interesting game, and I like to test things to the limit too, so it's kind of cool.
I don't think anyone's ever going to question that.
Yeah.
You come up with some pretty unique stuff. The another one of my favorites when you got your propel for the first time and you shot the 2-story jump shot into the pool.
Yeah, yeah,
That was pretty cool.
yeah. That
How many
thing is a beast.
how many attempts did that take you?
Not that long, actually, like 10 minutes, something like that, surprisingly. The funny thing is, it's just a straight line, right? So as long as you shoot it straight, you just got to remove everything else in your mind, just shoot it straight. It kind of goes in the same line. You just got to figure out. I had a friend tell me left or right at the bottom, and that was it. And you just kind of figure, left, right, short, long, and that was it. So kind of blind. But yeah, it wasn't too bad, actually. I could do that probably in a live just to do it. But the target was quite big. If we were to go in a smaller target, that could have been tricky.
Yeah, there's you always have those. I guess those other content creators where they do the ping pong bouncing things, where
Hmm.
they'll bounce off like 17 pots and pans and then end up in a tiny little cup. I mean,
Well, I
I don't
mean,
want to. You also see how many ping pong balls are sitting off to the side when they do that. But I'm kind of thinking
yeah.
of like that shot. If you were to try to do a smaller target, you'd have
It's
like 50,000
it's
cue balls just laying all over the place.
yeah, we had a few cue balls in the pool, I'll tell you that. Like probably 7 or 8 and all destroyed, but yeah, whatever. It's for the sport.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I want to say a few words to the people I seeing in the chat too. I see little Chris. It's nice to have you, my friend. Thanks for the good stuff as well. I follow his content. So my friend too, Jason Lynch in there as well. So Jason's crazy stroke. Good job on the national for artistic pool. I wish I could do those again, but I'm just too busy. So, but one day I'll be back on those as well.
Yep. No. Well, Lil Chris is a huge fan of, or a huge friend of the show. He's always, I guess, he's been here basically since the beginning. And Jason Lynch, I got to meet in New Jersey this past year at the NBL event. He's a great player, great stroke. Can't drink very well though.
Well, yeah.
You'll have to ask him that. You'll have to ask him that story.
I'm not taking part of that stuff. So, but yeah, I mean,
No,
the trick shot, it's got to be fun, and it's true. It's changed. The landscape has changed a lot. It's a very interesting thing, but there's quite a difference in between just going absolutely nuts on the video and creating something completely stupid that's off the chart that you can't spend 3 hours at it, and then trying to do something live. But the good news is for pool, at least, sometimes if you just have a small target, it's just one ball. If you try the same shot live, if you have sort of the concept down, you can simply put a butt or double ball or triangle, and the shot becomes actually from nearly impossible to actually possible. So a lot of the time that's what happened in my live shows. So people see the execution of the shot itself, which is ridiculous, but I don't have to really make the target super difficult. So if I hit the skill shot, then it kind of goes in, which is great. But
sure. So, what do we have to look forward to do you have any ideas that you're working on? Any videos you're working on right now? Do you have any insight that you want to share out for that?
So we have a few things in the pipeline, as usual. I mean, we have a bunch of instructional coming for APA, as far as going from skill level, 2 to 3, 4 to 5, stuff like that, which is going to be really cool. Recorded that a few months ago. Then, as far as on my end, COVID kind of slowed down the whole thing, and then on top of that with the league, I'm really, really busy, so it's been kind of complicated. On the next hand, too, you kind of have to sort of breeze at some point as far as creating stuff, because you can't just only create so much. But I'm still, posting YouTube every week or every 2 weeks. A lot of the virtual versus real. I don't know if you've seen those. When somebody sent me a clip from a video game and I got to do it in real life, that keeps me busy too. And then lately, all those new vertical format reels for Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. So, which is actually not too bad. The only thing that pissed me off on that is the format is vertical and pool is a horizontal game, so that just makes no sense. But
Yeah,
other than that, we just got to keep it going. And I think probably next year we're gonna have some sort of like really, really big video coming in. But it's just you got to find the budget for those things, so not super easy.
sure. I do want to talk about the APA videos because that sounds very
Mhm.
interesting. But I play I play a lot of euchre on my phone. That's like my game of choice when I'm
Mhm.
playing on my phone. And the ads, probably about 1 out of every 20 of them is actually you with mini pool or mini clip pool, which is like I
Yeah.
was like I always get like this. I'm like, oh, I know that guy. I know him.
Yeah, that was a big deal. I mean, again, I think like the few people that are actually taking advantage of it too now, in the industry, they should probably thank me, because it was kind of a groundbreaking deal to go and find those guys. And it's not that they came to me; we just had to kind of push and push until they saw the benefits of having it. And I think it's a very obvious benefits for them. It just because it makes the game looks more realistic, and actually it truly is. The physics is amazingly close, except for the crazy lucky shots, and the friction's a little bit off at some point. But other than that, it's actually amazingly close. So I think the benefits was kind of obvious there. So
Yeah. And my favorite when you have like your table, my favorite one is like the table's cut in half kind of diagonally, like
yep,
corner to
yep.
corner. And then like you do the half the shot, which goes into the new one, which goes into the video game, and then it comes back out as like you again, and like you link them up perfectly with your timing. Like those are just such awesome advertisements.
Yeah, it really is, and it made sense, you know. And I think the coolest thing for me after that was to be included in the game, and they had like the Venom trick shot queue and whatever. Like that was like, you know, goal legacy, you know, unlocked. You know what I mean? It was just perfect.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be. I mean, let's talk about your accomplishments in your career. I mean, this is obviously would not be one of those, but it's got to be. Is where does it fall into the pantheon? Because you're the only person that's able to transcend pool, short of Jeanette Lee. I mean, you are the only person that's out there.
No, I mean, there's a lot of cool new people coming in. The question is always with the new guys is, are they going to be able to endure the length, right? The test of time, because it's not easy to last. It's not easy to create new stuff all the time and this and that, right? So accomplishment, it's complicated because, you know, obviously, you know, partial to the World Cup that I won back then when he was on ESPN and Trickshot Magic and stuff like that. But to be fair, he never did as much as people would think he would as far as for the game goes. I mean, he gives you legitimacy, but nobody really gives a shit. I mean, it's, you know, it's just the way it is. It's online, nobody cares. So the Guinness Book did quite a bit. I'll say maybe more recognizable as far as going from, you know, the pool industry to not the pool industry, because the Guinness Book kind of transcends that as well. Even though, in my opinion, may not have as much value as, you know, winning like a trick shot tournament. And then I think the rest is actually the number of views and this, you know, probably, you know, some of the viral videos are more, it's more of an achievement than anything really, because it just,
Sure.
you know, I mean, able to go, like you said, to go from just the pool industry to completely outside was, you know, probably the best thing I could have done. And it's definitely part of my legacy more than anything. And if I've, you know, if people are going to remember me at some point for something, it's probably going to be this, you know, rather than, oh, he's one trick shot magic. So.
Yeah. Do you have like analytics, like the data for like your entire career of like how many
Hmm.
views you have, how many videos? Do you have that kind of data?
I never really tracked it too much because you can only track so much on your own, right? And then you know, there was a point the videos were just everywhere. I can tell you for a fact that one of the segments for Venom Trick Shot 2 got over, was it like 1.5 billion views combined. That's about the only one I was able to track. The one with the girl on the table, you know,
Sure.
blue felt. I mean, that was just, you know, in like 1.5 billion, you know what I mean? So it's just crazy.
It was literally viewed then by a quarter of the world.
Yeah, I mean, imagine that, right? That's just crazy. And sometimes, you know, it comes back to this. You know, I go like yesterday. I go to this bar, middle of nowhere. You know, it's not really middle of nowhere, but you know, it's rather small. Route 66, pretty, you know, and it's just, you know, you're trying to explain what you do, and it's like, oh, have you seen the video when there's a dude doing trick shot on the table with a girl? Oh yeah, yeah, I've seen it. And it's like, well, that's me. There you go. And then boom, you know, right? So, but that's about as good as I can explain it. So it's
Yeah,
yeah,
that
it's pretty cool.
that was going to be my next question is how often do you actually, so if you're walking down the street in New York City, how often do you actually get recognized?
Not really, I would say in a street setting, but sometimes at the airport, especially if I got T-shirts that says "Dude Perfect" or "Venom Trick Shot," whatever, I'll have somebody stops me here and there. Most of the time, it's more like weird looks, like, think I may know this guy, but you know, don't know. But yeah, I think that's not, you know, it's not too bad. Pool room, obviously, that's, I can't go anywhere really, so that
Sure.
those days are long gone. But you know, public, it's fine. I'm still like my friends call me a minor celebrity, so.
A minor celebrity.
I think it's a
Well,
fair assumption. You know, it's
yeah.
celebrity in the pool world, but you know, outside, not really. It's just so minor is fair.
I don't know how many people have made a video that was viewed by a quarter of the world,
Not a
but
lot, but you know.
so what do you think? So if you take your career in totality, what do you think? Like rank your top three accomplishments. What are you most proud of in your career?
So, well, obviously, being the first really on the internet to do this groundbreaking, you know, as far views and viral videos. I think this, you know, by far is the best thing. The other accomplishment, I'll say, it's probably already to have lasted so long and be able to create, you know, like 10,000 new shots. A lot of people lately, they just see something, copy it, and do it again, and that's it, right? I never took pride in that. I just wanted to do new things. That's what I love. So I think at this point, it's about 10,000 new shots, and I see people, you know, come up with shots that it's not like they give you credit anymore, so it doesn't really matter. But you know, I'm like, hey, this is my shot, you know, and that's pretty cool. And then the third thing, I don't know. their biggest accomplishment? I'm not sure. Oh, maybe to actually make a career out of it and actually being able to make money, being one of the few guys, is Tom and Mike Massey, Tom Rossman, Mike Massey, to actually just do trick shots for a living. I think that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, there aren't many. I mean, that might be the list, right?
Well, in the U.S., definitely the list, and in Germany, I mean,
Dave
in Europe,
Peterson.
we have Ralph Eckert. Yeah, Dave, maybe a little less now, but he used to be as well, right? So yeah, it is. I mean, maybe 10 guys, not even. I think they can make a living, and I'm definitely able to do so. So I think this is pretty cool, cooler than any other title. If I have one thing that I was really happy with as far as Guinness World Record goes, was that I don't know if you followed this one, the 24 hours most trick shot in 24 hours.
That was not even. Why did you do that?
That was
Are
just
you
cool. That was
are you
just cool.
Are you even fully recovered from that yet?
Yeah, I mean, that's just a normal day at the office for me. But the funny thing too is after that record, I didn't even go to sleep. We just played some three cushion after. It was just funny.
Really?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about, maybe either doing it again just for the fun of it, or, extending it to like 48 hours, or doing like a three cushion. It's a lot of logistic to work with to make it legit.
Sure.
So that's more the problem. But if tomorrow you tell me, stay up for 30 hours and do most trick shot you can, I can do it, no problem. So yeah.
I got an idea. In Vegas, let's set a new one for the most duo trick shots in 24 hours. How's that?
The problem is we got to make sure it's got some sort of legitimately right with the Guinness World Records. So for this one, we had to use the WP official program. So I don't know. We'll have to see what we can do. But yeah, doable.
That might be fun.
I see comments from Robert, but it says, why the name Venom? So it actually came from my dad, not really directly this way. So I was in France and I started to play pool. I didn't know how to play pool, and I just started to watch these videos online. It was like Mike Massey and Semi Second or whatever. And I'm here trying to do stupid Massey and destroying this poor 7-foot table, 6.5-foot table that I have that my dad just bought. And he just came by and was like, "Hey, you're a freaking poison for the tables," in French. I'm like, "Oh," clicked, Venom. That was it. And it's I'm still pretty bad for the tables. I'll be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you have to replace the rails as much as you do, but I like it, man. This is perfect because now we get to see more of the creative shots. That, I mean, really, that no rail one and the no cloth on the rail ones was like, they're just the creativity. Like, I'm a very, very, very not like creative person at all. Like, when I can appreciate people who are really good at what they do, and you can appreciate the genius that goes into it. And I'm just like, I can draw a stick man.
Well,
and like I just have no creativity, so it's like so interesting to see people who do.
It is kind of interesting because I've always thought, like we've always had this problem with pool and trick shot. Like the pool, they've kind of disrespect the trick shot. They think we're clowns or whatever it is. But they, the pros understand the difference, right? But like somehow it's more like the average player. Sometimes they think trick shots some sort of joke, or whatever. To me, it's not even pool. It's like you go from a guy that does triple backflip on a motorcycle to a guy that just goes around the track as fast as possible. Yeah, they're both riding a motorcycle, but it's a completely different sport, right? And trick shot has evolved to be exactly this. It's so different, right? But the skill is there, and I'm telling you, if we really push it, nobody can really follow us at this point. At least for me, I know where I'm standing as far as skill wise, and it's just so high level right now. But as far as pool goes, right? It's like, yeah, I can play pool, but it's not my favorite thing to do because it's a little bit boring. There's not as much creativity, right? So I'll have a week and I'm going to play a lot of pool, play a lot of good pool, but it doesn't really give me the same thing than when trick shot. Trick shot, I see like a blank piece of paper. I'm like, I got to do something new on it, and it's just creative, and something's going to happen. It's going to be cool. Maybe it sucks, but maybe it's really cool. And that's how I see it, right? So I think that's the way it works. And I think that's probably why I'm taking a liking to three cushion, because you can be a little more creative than just normal pool, right? And you're a great player, right? The best pool that you're going to play is the most boring, right?
If you're playing it the proper way.
Right? If you play the proper way, pool is boring, and it has to be boring if it's played right. So, and it's just the way it works, right? And it's normal. So it's kind of a different discipline. Both takes a lot of hours, both takes a lot of practice, and it is what it is.
Yeah, my favorite story, Demetrius Gelatis, he's one of the co-hosts on the show, and he's telling the story. I don't think this was on air, but he had this kid come up to him, and the kid was playing for 6 months or something like that. And he comes up to him and he's like, to Demetrius, he's like, "Why do you play this game?" And Demetrius is like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "You don't even look like you're having fun. Your face is, you're just looking like you're bored all the time, and it just doesn't even look like you're having any interest in this." He's like, "Well, yeah, it's because I'm playing well." He's like, "If you're playing well, wouldn't you be excited?" And he's like, "No, I'm playing well, which means I'm staying in line, which means everything's boring, which is perfect." That's and it's like the idea
It's
is
true
exactly.
story. It is
You're like,
exactly what's supposed to be, right?
it's like I only look like I'm having fun when I'm not playing well, because then I have to actually like be engaged. If you're playing the game well, your cue ball's always in line. You're playing boring pool.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the way it works. I mean, I love the game as well. I love all kind of games. Actually, I'm a pool billiards nuts in general. I'll play any kind of game that I have. But at the end of the day, trick shot is just my first love. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
awesome, and it's just never the same. Even you have no idea. You go back to a shot that exists for the last 50 years, and you can create a variation out of it. Great, first one, brand new shot, well, ish. You know what I mean? And I think it's just cool. Pool, yeah. I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna play the ghost. Yeah, great. I beat the ghost. Cool. I'll go to bed, right? Then straight pool, go beat your high run. But it's pretty much it. And it's just a different mindset, and it's less creative, but more focused. So
So then it's probably fair to say that you really don't like the game of snooker.
no, actually, it's not true. No, I actually play snooker
Is that
wherever I can too. It's just I never played the right at the high level anyway. To be fair,
yeah.
my high run is like 70 or whatever in snooker. But it's
It's
just
still incredible.
it's okay. I mean, I'm sure all the pros now they all over 100 easy if they just pick up the cue and play for a couple of days. So I never thought it was incredible. It's just the balls kind of line up, but it's an interesting game. But yeah, it wouldn't be I think out of all the normal standard game, three cushion for me is just
Yeah.
the easiest
Well,
one to relate to.
I would say snooker's got to be the most boring, because it's basically kind of like a stop your cue ball kind of game, right? Cinch your cue ball, drift things. Yeah.
I think it's
But
just exciting because it's new balls, new form, new
it's a
whatever,
new
right?
game, right?
It's just
It's so
the
much
new
different.
exciting thing. But I'm sure if I were to play for like a year, yeah, it probably wouldn't be my first choice.
Yeah. And that game's hard because my high run in that game is 1. So be nice.
Ah, come on, no way.
Okay, maybe 4.
I don't believe that. I think if we leave you for like a couple days practice, you'll be fine.
I think I've actually played the game, I think, 3 times now in my life.
Hmm.
Once sober, because the other 2 times were at like 4 a.m. at the Moscone Cup in London. So
Yeah, they can be that good. Yeah. No, I mean
yeah.
this is a game you got to be focused. It's got to be
Oh,
quiet.
big
You
time.
got to
Yeah.
be really on. And to be fair, if you play with a pool cue, you can't. You got to play with their cues. Really, I
Yeah.
think so. Small diameter and everything. But it's a great game. I mean, I love all kind of games. For
Yeah.
all games are interested. It's just some of them will be more fascinating than other, I suppose. So.
Yeah. So, fun question. You have 4 Guinness world records right behind you. You have more than 4, though, right? How
I
many are you up to
currently
now?
have 11.
Yeah. Do you have any more on your radar that you'd like to try to get?
Not that I know of, really. Maybe
I mean, besides
something will come up.
the 2-person 24-hour one that
Oh
we're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
get. Yeah.
I,
Besides
no,
that
I
one.
don't know. I don't know. I don't think there's any that are left. We'd have to create a new one, really. So I think right now I have the most mass in a minute, which I think is cool. So you could always expand it, maybe on different
Yeah.
times. But the most jumps, one hand, two hands. What else do I have? The longest distance we did last time, which is pretty cool. I left some distance to be built into, so I know it's beatable as well. But I wanted to make like a big deal out of it. I had this project when we're gonna put like a something in between two tables, like what's that, evil Knievel type thing, which just
Sure.
hasn't happened yet, but it's a possible thing in process. And but I think yeah, the long, physical records probably the next thing. I don't know what I can legally push to, and I don't know if I can actually last 40 hours playing pool. I've done it before, but not a few years back. So I don't know. That could be kind of cool. And if I had one that I wanted to do, it was probably the three cushion, probably for artistic billiard. The 100 shots they have out there.
Yep.
Probably do the same thing for 24 hours. But the problem is not a lot of people play artistic billiard. So I'll have to get this on my own table, find a referee, find people helping, and then on top of that, actually destroy my table. And then I got to find somebody who wants to change the cloths, which nobody wants to do either. So it's just more like kind of sucks. But I will do it, I think.
I want to come at you with that the longest spin, the longest spinning ball.
Yeah, yeah.
You got the record. It's like 50. It's close to 50 seconds.
I think it's like 42 or 47 seconds. But here's
Yeah.
here's the deal, though. Mine is done on with real Aramis ball and real Simonis cloths, right? So all perfect, whatever WPA standards, right? Because I've seen a few people saying, "Oh, I can beat the record, whatever." Man, I can beat the record too if I have a different kind of felt, right? So part of why the Guinness records are what they are is also because the material's got to be proven correct and all this stuff, the balls standards and whatever, right? Because if it's just a video, next thing I know, you got somebody who's like a lighter ball and a very thin carom felt or whatever. I can probably spin that ball a minute and a half. Actually, for the for the
For
joke,
3 cushion tables, yeah.
yeah, for the
Definitely.
joke, we took the felt off the table completely, and then I did the spinning thing. I think it was like 2 minutes. It just spun for 2 minutes on the slate.
Wow. And that's
Yeah.
actually like probably you controlling it quite a bit too and hitting it, not as far out so that you can maintain your level of
So
control.
the problem with just the slate was actually there was the rotation was actually making the ball move, and in the
Yeah.
real record you cannot hit a rail, right? So it's got to be staying on the surface without hitting a rail. So it is definitely beatable, but it will have to be like a thinner felt. But it's still pretty cool. I mean, I still think a minute would be, a minute on Simone's felt. Phew, that would
That
be
would
tough.
That would be
Yeah,
really brutal.
yeah, that would be really
I've
brutal.
gotten in, yeah. I think the highest I've only tried it maybe like 8 times or something like that. 8 total times.
Hmm.
So each time might be 20 times in that 8, but I've touched the middle 30s pretty comfortably on old worn cloth, which is
Yeah. Yeah, so
fun.
you'd need brand new failed, perfect condition, brand new balls, right? Then, it's possible.
Yeah. So little Chris asked, what do you think the highest jump has that ever been of interest?
Yeah, already. So I had it, then some guy beat it, then I beat it again, then some guy beat it again, then I beat it again, and now he beat it again. The problem is I don't have a cue for it because now my cue is broken in half. So you actually need kind of a special cue. It's it's kind of like a long carbon fiber tube that you just smash the crap out of it. And when I say it actually destroys your table, like you literally cut a hole and it goes down to the felt completely. So it goes through and you actually mark the slate entirely. So it goes into the slate, right? So if you have to attempt this, you got to have. So if I ever go back at it, which I will, I just need QTech to build me a special cue that actually withstand the stupidity of how high it is. And I think the problem we have now, it's so high that the ball kind of just it goes up and then it falls off table rather than falling in the pocket. The first time we did it, we just jumped very easily over it and then it kind of bounced off and rolled in. Perfect, right? And I don't think they ever intended to do anything more because the first one they had to beat was like something really low, like 20 centimeters or something like that. It was just, the beginning of jump cue, whoever did it. I think it was some Finnish guy that did the first time. And it was just a piece of cake, right? And then we tried to beat it again and it became that the ball landed on the table and then bounced off. And that was it. So then I came up with, well, shit, I got to bounce it into the pocket straight up,
Yeah.
which I did, but made the shot very, very difficult. And so when I did it the last time, it was actually live with the Guinness judge. And usually the judge will only give you 3 attempts. That's all they give you, right? This one, they looked at the thing and they're like, okay, we're going to give you 10. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I can do it. And they don't care if you beat it, right? It's just not, for them. So, but I did. I think on the ninth try or whatever, I nailed it straight in. And I'm like, nobody's ever gonna beat it. And next thing I know, somebody just puts a video out with what looked to be like 200 tries on it. And but somehow they made it. They made it okay. So now it's gonna have to be probably that's probably 200 tries to beat it on it, or at least 100 tries. You know what I mean? And just be ready to destroy a table. So, which,
Yeah.
I still need my table to do other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, at some point in time, it's going to get up high enough to where you're going to. I mean, your level of elevation with the cue is going to be so high that, and your speed is going to be so high that it's just
Well,
going to
I
be
think
impossible to keep on the table unless you do it on like a 10-footer.
I think it's. I don't even remember the current height. Let me see if I can see it behind me. I don't. It's got to be like 35 inches or something like that at this point. So
Almost
yeah,
3 feet.
it's exactly what I think the next mark is 3 feet basically. It's because I remember buying I remember buying one of those. What is it? What is 3 feet? I don't know the measurements in the US. Is it a foot or no? No, it's not.
12 inches is 1 foot. So this is 3 feet. So it'd be 36 inches is 3 feet.
Okay, yeah. So I think they sell like things like that at like Home Depot or whatever, and it's like exactly the height that we need. And I think
Sure.
this is what needs to be done. Yeah, the yard, whatever, the yardstick or whatever
Oh,
that is. I think this is
yeah.
exactly the
Yardstick,
next.
okay.
That's exactly the next thing we need to beat, pretty much. But yeah, I just need the next thing too is my table being upstairs. I got some vibration from the floor. So actually, I think the table would need to be on like a concrete piece, so you got less vibration, so you can actually jump it even cleaner. But that's just a theory of mine. I think thicker slate and stronger base would probably make the difference as well.
If I'm not mistaken, you have a resin table.
Right now, it is a Rasen, yeah, whatever's left of it. To be fair,
What's
it's
left?
been it's been brutally abused.
I believe the resins have 1.5-inch slate. Am I
Yeah,
right there?
it's pretty thick, yeah,
So
but
you'd have to
it's
go almost up to like a 2-inch slate.
yeah, I would say you'd have to get a 2-inch slate or granite or whatever it is, and just probably more like into the Gabriels. You're probably looking in the Gabriels realm at this point, and just something that's just really, really thick, really solid on like a super solid, low level ground at least, and that could probably do it. Carpet, I think, is taking a lot out of it.
Sure. So you think you can do it? If you had
Oh
to take
yeah,
the over, yeah, no
yeah.
problem.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. It's just like one of those trick shots when you start spending 2 hours. The problem is at some point, usually, Guinness decide to take them out of it because they can't do live. The real records, all Guinness, it's usually 3 attempts because they can call you to do it on TV at some point, right? And they're not gonna spend an hour on TV waiting for you to make a shot. It's just not the way it works, right?
No.
It's not business. So all the attempts I've had, we usually have when you have a judge, it's 3 attempts, and that's pretty much good. So, and I remember that was the first time I've done those. I think we tried the spinning record, and the record was like super low. It was like 25 seconds or whatever, 26. I think it was 26. And I hit it first time, I miscued, and it goes and it spun for like 29 seconds. She says, "Okay, you beat the record." I'm like, "Can I just do it again? I know I can go higher." She's like, "No, it's fine. You beat it." I'm like, "Damn." So that's why we had to beat it again and again and again. So yeah.
That's all. That's like. Is there? You go through all the hassle of like
Yeah.
getting it in place, and it's so easy. Oh no.
And I miscued on the thing too, and I get like 29 seconds out of it. We had like brand new fails, it was perfect weather and everything. I knew I had like 40 seconds in me, but yeah, judge is here, one go in it, and it's like, oh, you beat it. That's good.
That's torture. You should
Um,
you should said I don't know, you cheated somehow and kicked the table or something.
well, no, I mean, she said, because then I was like, and I'm sure I can do it. She's like, yeah, you can do it again, but if you do it again, you lose whatever you have. So you're not guaranteed to have it back. I'm like, well,
Oh,
that's
I
not
guess
smart.
two more attempts. Yeah, 2 more attempts.
Well, you can miscue easily twice in there, and if the ball touched the rail or whatever, so no, it's like that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, that's fair. It's probably smarter. So, I want to touch back on you said you were creating videos for the APA to help you
Yeah,
jump
yeah,
levels.
correct.
Uh, Take us through that. What is that going to look like?
That was interesting. So, pretty much the whole part of it. So, a while back, Tom Rossman, Dr. Q did a bunch of those videos for APA, and they just started to be a little dated. And it's kind of hard. Tutorials. It's kind of hard to come up with stuff. It's always the same thing, right? And
Yeah.
there's no real I'm gonna invent something because you cannot create something. So to me, it's kind of like tutorials. I don't really like to do it. I'll do them because I like to help people and it's content, but I'm not really a fan of it. So we're talking about it. And then I was like, because now running the league, I see the problems. I'm like, the biggest question I have is, what does it take for me to go from a skill level 4 to 5 or 5 to 6? What's the next level, right? What does it take to? So instead of separating the videos with topics or whatever it is, we decided to separate from skill level, right? From a 2 to 3, what does it take? What do you
Sure.
need to do, right? From a 3 to 4, what do you need to do? And so we created the content and we split it in a different way that's anybody's ever done it. There's nothing really new in there. The only difference is we have some more like maybe mental tips or like tip to focus on what needs to be done as far as just for your skill level, right? I mean, for example, you're 3, you want to go to 4. there's certain things you can do. You don't want to use too much side spin as much as possible, but you want to start using top and bottom. You want to start making the ball, maybe take a longer shot or the bank shot rather than trying to be perfect shape. But you want to make those balls, right? You start making balls, your ball counts naturally is going to go higher and you'll naturally go up. So, I mean, that's the approach we took. I think it's going to be pretty cool. And when we started actually asking the questions online, because we took some inspiration on Facebook, I was like, guys, what would you advise from, to a skill level 4 to become a 5? And we had like, I don't know, like 400-500 answers. So it was great. So people actually gave us the content too, which is, exactly what they want to see, I suppose.
All right. I'm a 4. Get me to a 5. Tell me how to do it right now. Come on. How do I get to a 5?
I don't know. I think we haven't edited this one yet. No, I think 4 to 5, we're talking about tangents a little bit.
Sure.
How to avoid all the scratches, manipulate the tangents. I know that was one of the topic. And then playing better position, really, because 4s, they'll start make balls, and if the balls are lined up, they'll make it. But in order to play shape, I think that was the next level is play shape. So I believe it was all about tangents on this one.
Sure, absolutely. That's like a really. It's not a super advanced shot, but I mean, if you're playing anything but high, low, and stop shots, the one shot I want to be playing is tangent stop shot positionings. I mean, it's
yeah. I mean, and I think really it's amazing actually how many average good player don't even know what a tangent is nowadays. It's crazy.
Sure.
So you kind of explain what it is and see if they can kind of find out what it is and manipulate it. And maybe going from 4 to 5, you need to start a little bit of side spin as well, right? A little bit of left, a little bit of right. Just put you in the right spots, but don't abuse of it, because if you do, then deflection take its course, and next thing you know, you're missing the ball by a mile. So
I think that's it, Florian. I think I have what I need to become a 5.
Mine is the drinking too. I'm reading that too.
Yeah, I'm one of the type of people who, when I grew up playing, I never drank, because I started when I was 5 years old. So I actually never learned how to play pool and drink, where some people only know how to play pool while they're drinking. And if I have like a sniff of alcohol when I play pool, my Fargo drops 100 points, and I'm not even exaggerating on that. Like I literally play like 550 Fargo if I have a single drink.
What's interesting though is that's always been the debate, right? In pool, I play better with drinking or not drinking, and I keep telling this to my players. I'm like, guys, you may think you play better, but you probably are not. You just don't think about it the same way, and you don't remember about it the same way. You care less, right? So now some people do need a couple of drinks in their system to like get the nerves out. I will be honest with you. I've seen that, and if they don't do it, then it's trouble. But it's sort of more rare than anything.
Well, and now we're getting the philosophy when it comes to like talking about, I guess, the nerves part of this. But I think the people who, if you grow up playing pool, or you learn how to play pool without any pressure on you, so you're just banging balls around in your basement, or stuff like that, you don't know how to learn or you never really truly learn how to handle the pressure and how to use, because at the end of the day, like the only thing that's asked more to me than what tip do you play with is how do you stop being nervous when you're playing pool? And my answer to it is every single time, you have two options if you want to stop being nervous at pool. You stop caring about it, or you die. Like that's it. Those are the two ways. Whether you're playing for the world championship or whether you're playing with your buddies at the bar, you don't stop being nervous ever. The good players
My theory is different. So, well, first off, for the trick shots, a little bit different, right? The competition, you don't have a choice. You got to deal with it, right? But I always thought there was two people, one that thrive under pressure and ones that don't, right? I think there's no real in between, but that's, past the point, right? So for my shows, it's pretty simple, because let's say I have a bad day and I'm start missing. Well, I can switch to like making an easier shot and kind of go back to rhythm, feel good, then maybe attempt something hard again. So I can control the narrative. So that is, great news. The problem though is for different stuff. How do you, man, I forgot what I was going to say. I had something good too.
And
I literally forgot what I was going to say.
Find out what Florian has to say on next week's episode. See you later, everyone.
That's too much, not enough sleep. Yeah. But I was going to say that. So for the trick shot tournament, I have a guide, right? So it's all by points for us and by attempts or whatever. So if I go and I practice, my practice needs to be 30% more than what I'm expecting to show the tournament, at least 20%. So if I want to score 250 points in tournaments, I know I got to be at like 290 at least, or whatever, 300 basically in practice. If I don't reach that, that means it will drop, because in my opinion, you will drop no matter what, except you play home on your home table, right? Home bar, home whatever. If you know, that's fine.
Sure.
Then you can play the same as you practice. It's possible. But if you play anywhere else with different balls, different condition, different tables, you will lose something. And I don't think it's possible not to. So I account for like 20% of loss regardless. So if I practice, I got to be 120% to be 100% when I play. And that's the way of seeing it. So
Sure.
take some pressure off of you. Really does. That means if you're not playing over your head in practice, you can't expect to play good in normal life.
Sure. Yeah. You sold me. So I've gotten lots of good things out of this. I am now going to be an APA 5, and I know how to practice properly.
Well, you would not be a 5 in my league, I tell you, buddy.
Oh, I'm still a 4. You're
Well,
still
maybe
making me a 4?
maybe left-handed if you wanted to.
Ooh, I do play a little left-handed pool.
Ooh.
My wife started playing pool, and so we played in the worst league that my town offers, and they won't let me play in it right-handed because they have levels on whether or not you get into it. So I'm like, all right, so can I play left-handed? And they're like, sure. So I play left-handed now. I am really good. I made 4 balls in a row once.
Whew. Actually, I'm talking about 4-5s. I'm pretty much a 4-5 one-handed, because I play some of my players, even on those one-handed. I'm pretty good. I'm a 4-5. I would, I would say.
Well, there's two things here. Is it 4-5 with your cue resting on the rail, or is it 4-5?
I can do both. Jacked up, no problem either. So ideally, it's easier. Probably more like a 5 on the rail. Probably more like a 4 off the rail. But I mean, I've had a break and run last time, one-handed, jacked up, playing 9-ball for fun. It was like 2 weeks ago or whatever. So.
Oh, and it's 9-ball too? That's impressive.
Yeah, it was just the balls were lined up. You just got to make the balls,
Yeah, I was gonna. Well, that has to be, because you can't spin the cue ball really one-handed very efficiently.
You can follow and you can draw a little bit. It's about it, but you can't go left or right spin really. I mean, that's
hardly at all.
tough. No. So yeah.
Yeah, the 8-ball's a little bit easier, because if you play your patterns correctly, you shouldn't be moving your cue ball too much anyway. So that's Ivy says it perfectly. Hopefully it's pronounced right. I'm not gambling with you. You're not getting any action.
One-handed? I'll actually gamble probably anyone one-handed. That would be one thing I do. I won't play anybody normal pool, because I know too well what happened to you when you when you get screwed. But one hand, I don't have much of a fear actually. I'll take anybody in town here. So, but that's just fun. Actually, we had a one-hand tournament not too long ago in Vegas. I think I had to beat. Yeah, it was a bunch of good customers. Mitch Ehrlichman was there and all those guys, and I had to beat Mike Massey in the final. So I do have a one-handed trophy for one-handed pool. Maybe one of the rare one in the US.
Well, what is that the let's say the goofiest tournament you've ever played in?
Or no, heard of? I don't think so. It was actually kind of serious, to be fair. I mean, funny enough, we had a lot of good players coming in. It was strange, but like a lot of old school guys too. The old school hustler and everybody showed up. It was just it was fun though. It was a good idea. I think we should do it more often, but it's not a lot of people want to step up for that. So.
We have a couple themed tournaments in Wisconsin that are pretty fun. Of course, we have a couple places. Broomstick, yep. But we also have another one that I haven't heard too many places elsewhere in the country that have these. We actually have what's called a Handcuff Tournament. What it is it's Scotch doubles, but you have to play in handcuffs. So you and your partner are handcuffed together, and you have to play all of your shots handcuffed Scotch doubles.
Yeah, but that's tricky. If you have a lefty and a righty, that's okay. But if you're both right-handed, so hold on, let me think about.
No, you could.
This is crazy.
It doesn't have to be right-handed, left-handed. It could be right hand and right hand, right? You could do it. And what ends up happening is you always have to have your bridge hand. You're bridging. It's got to be on your bridge.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to do back here. You don't want to have to time up somebody else's wrist with your wrist. That just doesn't work, right?
You just gave me a great idea for the league here.
Okay, that's going to cost. Okay, that's going to cost you. It's going to cost you $1.
It's going to be a very purchase on Amazon with purchasing like 12 pair of handcuffs or whatever it is.
Well, what it is so you supply your own handcuffs.
Supply your own.
I should say this: you can bring your own handcuffs, or you can supply your own. So, like some of the people that do, they'll be like these pink fuzzy ones. They're those types of handcuffs. There's people that like design their own. There's like an engineer that actually he actually created his own.
Oh boy.
And did like, well, no, it was nothing weird. It's actually really cool. Like, like the links between them, they're just like little metal
Oh
circles, right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
he ended up
And
like doing all these wonky designs on them, and almost it looked like a bedazzled set, but he engineered it himself. It was pretty cool.
well,
And the
I've never
tournament
heard that.
it's fun.
I have
So
never heard of that.
the fun ones is when you get like those length of the table ones where you have to kind of bridge over a ball really awkwardly, and not only are your body is all contorted to make the shot work, your partner is then like doing the weirdest thing, and the rule is both players have to have a foot on the ground, so you
I was
can't
gonna
just like
say
lie on the
probably.
table. Yeah,
Damn,
it's
that's
a fun
awesome.
it's pretty fun. It's a pretty fun one. That's the goofiest tournament I've ever heard of.
I never heard of that before, so I mean, I've heard some weird stuff, but that, yeah, no. I'm actually not bad broomstick trick shot either. Actually, it's a favorite. I actually even had a broomstick made that we because so it actually opens in the middle. It's got a through pin and through joint that you could put in a suitcase, and then the top part obviously empty out. So I can actually have like a 3-piece broomstick in my case if I want to for show. I did bring it a few times, but people really didn't get off of it. I thought maybe I was just stupid, so I just kind of gave it out. But yeah, I have one that I can actually carry. My good friend Abram did it for me. It was funny, and it's clean. You don't get splinter or whatever. But it's the same diameter, no tip on it, just real broomstick, just with a joint in the middle.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Candlelight tournament. Never heard of one of those. That I don't know. That seems interesting. I mean, I think we've all seen like the glow in the dark tables. Those are pretty fun.
Yeah,
You ever play on
yeah.
one of those?
Yeah, that's
That
not
might
real cool, right? That's
No, that might be a good idea for you. That might be a really neat video, right?
I think the
Trick.
problem with those bowls is I think they gotta be moving to glow, right? I think.
Well, you could do the blacklight ones. Maybe a blacklight trick shot.
True.
That might be
There
fun.
you go. I mean, yeah, I've done some crazy stuff already. Yeah, I've done one. We moved the table in the desert. We've done a helicopter. We've done the boxing club. I mean, yeah, I don't know what's the next one. Actually, I do know what's the next one. I've always wanted to do one on top of a building, like a really, kind of like a 2-story, whatever, and have a couple tables under to do like 3-dimensional space stuff, and maybe even have like helicopter coming in, shooting a ball off, and what else did I still want to do? Drifting a car around the pool tables, some stuff that's never really been done either. That's in the make, and what else? Oh, maybe bring a pool table in the mountains or something like that. Skiers. I mean, there's still a lot to be done. The problem becomes logistic. So logistic means money, and you got to find somebody who wants to line up money for one video. It's not not as easy.
Little Chris has so much money, he doesn't even know what to do with it all. Come on, little Chris, give him some money.
There you go. Give us some. You'll be in. We can let you in.
Yeah, right. I think there's something to that blacklight idea. I think you should look into that. That might be fun.
There you go. Yeah.
It'd be appealing to the people outside the industry. I feel like people like.
Yeah, I think the weirdest I've done lately. I don't know if you saw it. We've done we had like 5 minutes to make it happen at the Westgate when they're putting the table together for the World Championship.
Yep.
And I just saw the forklift was a table. I'm like, come on, let me just mess with that. So we put a table in there and just jump the ball into another table with a forklift.
Yeah, all the way down the line, right? That was
awesome. Surprisingly, they actually let us do it, so it's great.
Yeah, you can't argue with that.
No, that was a cool shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Florian, I know how busy you are. We've been on here for a little while. I feel like I should let you get out of here. I guess give yourself a plug to your sponsors that help you out with all the videos, as well as just you as a person, and then plug your leagues in Vegas for anybody who's in the Vegas area and wants to get involved.
Yeah, so all my sponsors, mainly Q-Tech for the Qs. They've been doing awesome. We've got the new Florian Kohler Q, that Avid Q that's priced super competitive. That's a tough word in English. Competitively, and it's just an awesome Q. I play with it during my shows. It's great. Working on some new stuff. We're gonna have a whole line coming in. It's really cool. Simone's Aramis from the very beginning was me. I mean, the best material. You can't really argue it. It's just with how much I break, I don't really have a choice. Same for Tip and Chalk. Tip Kamui just can't beat it. I've been using, for those wondering, I've been using Kamui Super Soft Black for the last 10 years. I haven't changed it. It's the best you can have as far as the trick shot goes. Grips the ball. It's fantastic. And then we're creating that new chalk. I don't know if you've seen it. Actually, I might have a piece here. It's kind of colorful. We have a new Kamui Kageki chalk. It's, I developed it with them. So we worked on it. So it's a little bit like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Kamui chalk, in between the 121 and the 028, the 098. A little less dirty, but it's gray. So I know we're starting to see a lot of gray on the market, kind of probably because I've been pushing it, and then Matchroom has been pushing the gray. So
Yep.
so we have a gray, Kamui chalk that's really awesome right now. What else did I forget? Oh, iLeaks for Pool Table, kind of a new sponsor. They're out of Taiwan. Still with COVID, we didn't really get the new table just yet, but it'll happen at some point. Pool Dog, obviously, no need to introduce Pool Dog. They're all over the place. We've done some cool stuff with those guys too, tutorials to I think they helped me actually do one of the coolest video, in my opinion, I've done, which is moving a pool table, put it in the middle of the desert, Valley of Fire, and that was not cheap. That was a really complicated thing, and sunburn and the wind and whatever. So probably never again, but it looks awesome. And what am I forgetting here? I'm probably forgetting something. Oh, APA, obviously. Yep. APA been with those guys for so many years, and like you said, I also know for like the last 3 years on the league in Vegas. So if you guys are playing pool, want to play pool in Vegas, we do a lot for our players. Obviously, being who I am, I kind of know a little more what needs to be done for making people interested. So, we don't have to, I'm going to send you a trip to Vegas because we live down the road. So we just do a lot of tournaments. So I think we have 46 events a year for our league. So players have the choice to do whatever they want. We have Scotch double like almost every other week or something like that. Big tournaments, extra tournaments. Yeah, it just never really ends. I mean, it's pretty cool. So, and then lastly, 8-ball pool. Yeah, the video game. I don't think I need to introduce this one.
Yeah, I downloaded it and deleted it because I couldn't beat a bunch of hacks. I didn't even know how to play patterns. Pissed me off.
Yes. I'll tell you that. So what we've been doing for fun, actually, a few live streams when I play people, and I just get crushed to death. And I'm like, I can't aim, I just can't, I'm trying to aim through it, and it's just tough. But you got to admit it, if you get used to it, it does works. But I heard there's some hackers. I don't really know what they get out of it, but I'm not sure. Maybe we're just too old for that, man. So satisfaction of beating people up.
Actually, you know what? Rob Schneider, that's a really cool idea. Have you ever seen those tables that are like L-shaped?
Oh, yeah.
A trick shot on one of those tables would be awesome.
That is absolutely something I have in my mind too. Have you seen those pool room with there used to be one pool room with different kind of tables and stuff, and that was that would be like maybe combining a bunch of like an oval, an L shape, the Z shape, whatever it is. Yeah, that would be really cool. But I don't know where to find them, so we're gonna have to find them and be able to destroy them, which is another problem too.
And be able to destroy them.
And to be fair, too, snooker trick shot is as well needs to be done at some point. But again, in the US, there's almost no table left, so chances that somebody let me actually mess with it is going to be very low. But I'm suppose before refelting, there may be a chance. So,
well, what is it? We got like, I don't know, 20,000 people listening to this podcast. One of you guys, go out there, buy yourselves a lottery ticket, win it, and then
yes, please do
get Florian hooked up with all of his video ideas.
Yeah, it sounds fun. It's not as fun working with it because it's long days and brutal, but man, the satisfaction when he gets out and it's just brand new and super cool doesn't really beat it. It's worth all gold in the world.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Florian, I appreciate you coming on and chatting with us today. This was a lot of fun. We'll have to bring you on again sometime in the future when you got some more things to announce. And I might take you up on that Vegas for the Moscow Cup. I'll be out there.
If you're there, for real, let me know. My house is open, and more than welcome. We can even run a podcast if you want out of there, straight up. But we could definitely do a few trick shot tutorial, whatever you have in mind. I'm there. So.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. And when we get a little bit closer, I'll reach out to you and hopefully we can coordinate something that'll happen. That'll be fun.
Sounds good. All right. And thanks everyone in the comments to see Ivy and stuff too. I know all those guys. So good to have you guys.
Perfect. All right, Florian.
Bye.